Brown joins me here.
The former FEMA director.
Talk show host Michael Brown.
Brownie. Now,
Brownie, you're doing a heck of a job.
it's a heck of a show with Michael Brown.
You're on the radio.
On KOA News Radio.
I ain't seen no, whatever that phrase was that Hillary Clinton used back when she was running for president. And actually, maybe it was even before then. Maybe she used it back in 2008. But anyway, Hillary Clinton has this really bizarre, I don't know what you would call it, but she wants to go to the South. And if you go to the South, I don't know why you have to if you're from, maybe it's because she's from Arkansas. She's just from Arkansas. So if I'm from Arkansas, I can talk however I want to. But she hasn't lived in Arkansas for I don't know how long. She wasn't born in Arkansas either, so it's not like she was born with that accent. She goes to Selma, Alabama. Kind of what you might describe as one of the most pivotal places in the civil rights movement of the 1960s. And when she goes there, she feels obligated to talk in some fake Southern accent. And I don't have a computer. Can I get a computer?
No.
Well, okay. Wait, hang on. What's it going to cost tonight?
Oh.
Hang on. Let's check.
I need at least $500.
No. I was thinking more. No. It's just
a corn dog. I would like a corn dog and a milkshake.
Angie, stop. I know it's Friday night, but stop. Didn't you have a lady call in the other night and say that she was never going to listen again because we were talking about corn dogs? Or she was looking for Dave Ramsey or something after we've been on the air for, what, 3 months? Oh, 12 years. So, no, I can't tell that story. So you can't mention corn dogs. I got... we got Let's Eat and Hollywood in Total, so I'm not going to pay for those hours. So I got $2. Can I buy 2 hours worth of computer time?
I guess so.
All right, $2. There it is. Can I get a receipt?
No.
I want to take it off my taxes. Now, the real question is, and you don't have to answer this on the air, but did you forget to turn the computer on, or did the company forget to pay the computer bill? That's what I thought. $2 right here. Two hours, right? I can get 2 hours of computer time?
Sure.
What did that lady say when she called about the corn dogs?
She said it was boring.
Corn dogs are boring?
Yeah, I believe she said it was boring.
That old bag, what is she talking about?
She had to tell me she was changing the channel, so I was like, okay, that's cool.
She called you to tell you that she was changing the channel.
That's what happened.
Did you explain? Did she call back to ask how to change the channel?
No.
Was she over 50, under 50?
I'm gonna guess over.
Was she crabby about it, or was she angry about it? How did it go? And the only reason I ask is, I bet you she's listening right now.
Well, she wasn't really, really mean about it, but
oh, that's pretty good.
6.5.
6.5.
Yeah.
On the snark scale. We have a magnitude 6.5 on the snark scale. Anyway, back to Hillary Clinton. So Hillary Clinton, see, I knew exactly where I was the whole time. So Hillary Clinton goes down to Selma, Alabama, and decides it's time to start talking like, I don't know what she's trying to talk like.
This is the day the Lord has made.
Hallelujah. This is the day the Lord has made. As was yesterday and probably tomorrow too. And
let us rejoice and be glad in it. Oh.
Preach it, sister. Preach it.
And then let's get to work.
Oh, yeah.
Reverend Green, when those bones get up.
Oh, now let me back up just a moment. When the bones get up is one of my favorite phrases, because when those bones get up, when the bones get up, we got to get up and we got to get moving. Can I ask a question? We're always being told that the tax exemption that churches receive, particularly if you are an evangelical church, or perhaps you're an evil Catholic church, or even worse, you're one of those devil Mormon churches. Oh my gosh, we got to take the tax exemption away from those churches because they might actually talk politics. How come nobody ever? I mean, I'm just asking the question. And I know some questions are better asked in private, so that's why I'm asking right now. I'm just asking between you and me. Why is it that nobody ever questions the tax exemption of a Southern black church, or a Northern black church, or a Western black church, or Canadian black church? I don't know whether they have tax exemptions or not. Now, back to them bones, because them bones are tired. Oh, they're tired.
Reverend Green, when those bones get up, and when that...
No, a closer walk with thee, or, I don't know, any gospel song, I don't know. Go vote. Yep. Reverend Green, you tell these good parishioners they need to go vote. And Reverend Green, you tell them. And then them bones get up. When them bones get up, to go vote Democrat.
Because, you know, I've heard Cory preach. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Cory Booker? I don't think Cory Booker's ever preached a day in his life, but I might be wrong.
Oh, Mrs. Sewell, you know. I mean, you just get ready. But I want to say, and when they went to work, they found a receptive Supreme Court who came up with the most absurd decision. There are a lot of absurd decisions.
There are a lot of absurd politicians, too. I'm just saying. Let me tell you, absurd on every aisle. Yes. Every chamber, every aisle. Let every soul just sing hallelujah. I just got a text message and I'm scared to look at it.
On the ballot, there were fewer voters registered in Georgia than there had been those prior 4 years.
And why might that be? Because the Lord told them to. The Lord told them to stay home. Stay away from that devil polling booth.
Think about it, my friends.
Okay, I'll think
and
about
I
it.
know that if we do our part, we can take back this country and put it back.
Whoa. Now, I don't really want to step on Hillary's preaching, because I love a good sermon. Oh, man, get me some good preaching going on. I kind of miss old Billy Graham. You know, those great big old crusades he'd have. Can you say crusades, or is that illegal now? He'd have those big crusades in the giant stadiums. I don't think Hillary can hold a candle to Billy Graham. But I find it fascinating. Here she is in this Southern black church in Selma, Alabama, talking about politics.
We can take back this country.
And that's what throws me off right there. I know it's hard and it's difficult for me, and this is my job. So I can imagine the difficulties that you have. Oh, Lordy be. In fact, just let's all gather together and we'll pray for your difficulties. But I thought saying that we want to take our country back, that was a dog whistle, that was a racist dog whistle. I could swear overrunning the country. Do you know what I find most offensive about? May I just be serious for a moment? Not anything preceding this wasn't serious, but may I just be very serious for a moment? If I was a person of color, why is it that I see black conservatives, brown conservatives? I see people of color all the time that are conservatives. I see hard-working people of color. But probably just saying that is probably racist. Probably just thinking, you mean people of color are just like the rest of us? Maybe that in and of itself right there is racist. We are reaching peak stupidity in this country. I don't know, and I know many of you think we've already reached peak stupidity, but I'm trying to, because I don't want to claim peak stupidity too early, because if I claim peak stupidity too early, then somebody will start calling me Al Gore, and people will start claiming, well, Michael Brown said back in 2016 we'd reached peak stupidity, and then in 2017 he said it, and then 2018, and then by damn here he is in 2019 claiming that he thinks we've reached peak stupidity. Well, when is it? When was it? Did we reach peak stupidity then? Or maybe we got a lot more stupidity to go. See, this is what really... oh man, I shouldn't tell it. And by the way, if you haven't registered to vote, right behind pew number 17, we got voter registration. Now the thing is, we got voter registration, but you can only register to vote Democrat. Yeah. So if you happen to be, conservative and you're attending Reverend Brown's church or Reverend I forget who it was, Reverend Green's church. If you're attending Reverend Green's church and you want to register to vote, but where it comes time to pick the party, that's conveniently that's already been filled out for you. How thoughtful of them. So that after you've heard Hillary Clinton speak, registering all these nice people in this black church to vote, know anything about the civil rights movement, is this. They actually want segregated facilities. Yes. After all of this fight in this country, the fight, and if you claim that it was 3/5, they fought, and then we ended up in the Civil War. A man not be judged by the color of their skin, but instead by the content of our hair or our sexual preferences or this or that or anything else. We should just judge people by the content of their character. So now they want segregated facilities because they need to, I guess, commune with themselves. All of the radicals and the hippies of the 60s, if any of you are any of those radicals or hippies of the 60s, and you see what's going on now and you don't shake your head both in shame and disgust, then your soul must be dead. Your soul truly must be dead. And here's old Hillary faking that accent.
We can take back this country and put it back on the path that was begun and forged here in Selma 54 years ago. God bless you, Brown Chapel.
Yes, God bless you, God bless you, God bless you. Selma, Alabama. I'm going to make a big-ass assumption that Hillary Clinton understands exactly what took place in Selma. I'm going to make an assumption that Hillary Clinton really knows the historic significance of where she's speaking. And if she does, she should actually be embarrassed. She should be embarrassed about what she and her husband and the entire Democrat Party have done to, and including Barack Obama, what they have done to race relations and what they have done to the black community in this country. They should hang their heads in disgust. And that's why I say, back to my earlier point, if I was a person of color living in this country right now, if I could figure out some way to shed my white, we don't need you to be making these choices for us. So shut up and go away. And by the way, I'm going to study a little bit of history, and I'm going to understand exactly which party, if somehow we're still wrapped around the axle about slavery, I understand exactly who emancipated the slaves, which party did that, and which party, as we fast forwarded into the 60s, actually passed these pieces of civil rights legislation. So Hillary, I don't know what you're doing, but you need to shut up and you need to go back. You need to go back to Westchester County. You're not running for president, and we just don't want to listen anymore. Unless, of course, you want to go to some other black church somewhere and you want to do some more fake, I don't know, Southern accents? Because I got to tell you, sweetheart, I love it. I love listening to it. You're listening to Michael Brown on KOA News Radio, 850 AM, 94.1 FM, and always on the Michael Brown Show page at KOANewsRadio.com.
Saturday, March 9th, an important day, certainly to me, and maybe to you as well. Why? Well, it's National Meatball Day, and on KOA Q&A, I'll be talking with a guy who'll tell us all about it with interesting facts on the beloved meatball. Tomorrow morning, right here on KOA. It's KOA Q&A.
Hi, it's Dave Logan for Shop Subaru. Yes, that's right. You heard me correctly. Schomp Automotive, a family-owned business serving Colorado for over 75 years, owns and operates Schomp Subaru on Havana in Aurora. Now, when you think of Subaru, you can also think about my auto group of choice, Schomp Automotive. There's only one Subaru dealership in town that offers one price, one person, 1 hour, and that is Schomp Subaru. Visit their redesigned website, SchompSubaru.com, to learn more.
Guys, you can achieve greater sexual performance no matter your age. Thrive MD is helping men with Gainswave. You'll have firmer, more satisfying erections that last longer. There are no pills or shots with Gainswave at Thrive MD. For more information on Gainswave, call Thrive MD. And
whether it's for your home, apartment complex, or condominium, our service and workmanship showroom, or call for a free in-home estimate. Please.
You're wrong. This is why thousands of homeowners are making the switch to Rex. With Rex, you get a dedicated agent and a full-service experience at a fraction of the cost. Rex uses game-changing technology to cut out the middleman and save homeowners tens of thousands of dollars in fees. See if you qualify by calling 833-REX-HOME. That's 833-REX-HOME. Remember, this is your home. Why give an insane amount of equity away to an agent? Rex offers the lowest fee in the industry without skimping on service. You'll work with a licensed local expert with you every step of the way. Get the most out of your home. See if you qualify by calling 833-REX-HOME. 833-REX-HOME. That's 833-REX-HOME. DRE license 019761010. Minimum fee applies.
Hey, it's Rick Lewis. If you or your bed partner have sleep apnea, snoring is likely the worst part of your nightly routine. Once the snoring starts, one of you probably moves to a different room to try and get some sleep alone. CPAP is the first line of therapy for sleep apnea, but it just doesn't work for everyone. Now there's a silent, mass-free sleep solution keeping couples together in the same room. It's called Inspire. Inspire is a sleep solution that works inside your body with your natural breathing process. It delivers mild stimulation throughout the night to keep your airway open, giving you and your partner a quiet and restful night's sleep together. Inspire is the only FDA-approved sleep solution of its kind that's helping thousands of people like you finally experience their best sleep. A sleep solution for you is just a click away. Visit InspireSleep.com to learn more, review important safety information, and to find a doctor in Denver who can help you determine if Inspire is right for you. That's InspireSleep.com.
KOA News Radio time is 7:30. Winter storm warnings remain in effect for the northern Colorado mountains through 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. Another 8 to 16 inches of snow possible above the 8,000-foot mark. Strong winds are possible tonight. And
Jamie Kloss captive for 88 days after killing her parents, saying he intends to plead guilty. In a handwritten letter from prison, apparently answering questions from a reporter at Minneapolis station KARE, Jake Patterson writing, "I want Jamie and her relatives to know that. Don't want them to worry about a trial." Jamie bravely escaping Patterson's rural cabin, later telling investigators she was barricaded under his bed for up to 12 hours at a time.
That is Ariel Reshef reporting. Bad news for the Colorado Avalanche. They'll be without Captain Gabriel Landeskog for 4 to 6 weeks with an upper body injury. He was hurt in last night's game in Dallas. Our next update comes your way at 8. I'm Pat Monticelli on KOA News Radio, 850 AM and 94.1.
And a mess in the mountains. They've just opened westbound I-70 at Copper Mountain, but Vail Pass is still closed, and there are still passenger traction laws in effect from Silverthorne to Georgetown. CBS 4 weather. Tonight, chance of rain and snow mix late, low of 28. Tomorrow, sunny and windy, high of 46, currently 44 degrees. This report is brought to you by Indeed.com. Indeed, used by over 3 million businesses for hiring, where business owners and HR professionals can post job openings with screener questions, then sort, review, and communicate with candidates from an online dashboard. Learn more at Indeed.com/hire. I'm Darren Copeland with KOA News Radio, Colorado's news, traffic, and weather station.
Hi, I'm Rorden Shane, fourth-generation jeweler. From day one, my great-grandfather felt it was important to give customers more options. That's why Shane Company has more diamonds than anyone else in town, in all sizes, in every price range, and with the broadest selection of diamond shapes. In addition to traditional round and princess cut diamonds, we have cushion cut, oval, pear-shaped, marquise, emerald cut, radiant, even heart-shaped. For each diamond shape and grade, we pick the best diamond cutters in the world, who cut the stones and sizes to choose from than anywhere.
Charming Reykjavik and remarkable geothermal wonders. Call
Hannah. Celebrate International Women's Day. Gwen Stefani.
You can try to push me down.
She's been a big influence on my work ethic. It's just how to be a self-starter.
Get more at iHeartRadio.com/women.
Back to Mike.
Anthony and I are trying to decide whether to derail the show right now or wait till 8 o'clock to derail it. What do you want?
Enough, and we take our arms up, to take back this country.
Okay.
Because,
all right. So, Michael, let me ask you. Let's say it's tomorrow. Who are you going to go shoot?
Well, I protect my neighborhood first. I don't know who I'm going to shoot.
Well, you up here it says, when are we in the next revolution? And your question was, when do we take up arms and when do we shoot back, or something to that effect? And so my question to you is, who do you shoot first?
Well, I don't know. Who comes for us, I guess.
So who's coming for you right now?
Well, right now, no one except for crazy laws that people are trying to implement, to take away our rights.
And you know how you can fight that, right?
Well, yeah, my vote, but that doesn't.
No. There's more than your vote. Have you? Let me ask you. Have you called your state legislator?
I have, actually.
Have you gone to the state capitol?
I have not. I work for a living.
Have you? Oh, well, okay. Do you have any vacation time or comp time or sick time?
Well, I do.
Okay, so apparently none of these issues have reached the point of importance to you that you're willing to take time off to go to a hearing or to go to a rally or to go to anything, a committee hearing, to express your point about it.
That's not true, though, Michael. That's not true.
Oh, so you have done that?
It has.
So you have done that?
Well, I have been at hearings before on transportation issues, but...
Okay, so transportation issues, that's great, because our transportation sucks, but you understand that there's a red flag bill that they are trying to upend the Fourth Amendment, upend the Second Amendment. Did you attend any of those, or did you do anything with that?
No, I have no, but okay, so that's what I'm to do? I'm to use my vacation time and my medical time, my off time, to go down to the state capitol and raise hell that way?
Well, if you feel that important about it, yes, you should.
Oh, okay, Michael. I appreciate that. I mean, really. That's
okay.
What I'm going to do then.
All right. So if you think that is some sort of spurious answer, what do you think you should do?
Well, no, you're not. See, we the rest of us work for a living.
I work for a living too.
Exactly. I understand that. But,
so why did you? So what was your point about saying, Michael? Some of us, we just said you were.
I did not.
You said so. You expect me to take off my vacation time or my sick time or my comp time or whatever and go do that? And you said it with sarcasm in your voice. So I'm making an assumption that you don't want to go do that, and that's okay. Look, I'm not judging. But I'm just trying to understand what you're saying, that you don't want to go do those things. So then I want to ask, because remember, this entire conversation started out with, when does the revolution start? And so I'm trying to find out from you what it is that you want to do.
You made a good point. You're right. You made a good point. I appreciate that.
So what do you want to do?
I'm gonna use my off time to go down and make a statement. And here's the deal, because we don't have access enough, but I'm gonna try, because you made a good point. I want to do something but I don't feel like it makes a difference.
Okay, so then can I walk you back off from this, because Michael, I'm trying to be respectful, but the conversation that you started with me was, when does the revolution start?
Yes, because Hickenlooper is the same thing. Hickenlooper wants to run for president, and he just said his thing was, "Oh, we're so divided. It's never been divided before, just before the Civil War." And that's where we are, because the left.
You know what? I don't believe that for a second.
You don't?
Do you? You're old enough to probably remember the Vietnam War and how divided this country was in the 60s and 70s, and then people keep telling me because it goes back, Michael, because it goes back to this. Who do you want to shoot? That is a serious, legitimate question. If you want the revolution, who would you shoot?
The communists, the socialists?
No, that doesn't work. That doesn't. You can't play that, Michael. You can't play that game with me. If you want to start the revolution, who are you going to shoot?
They want to divide our country, and they've been doing it for years. You won't answer
the question, and when you won't answer the question, you don't get any more airtime. I get sick and tired of people that say, Michael, when are we going to start the revolution? We're close to the Civil War. No, we're not. That is a historically ignorant statement to make. And when people tell me, I'm never going to tell anybody how many guns I own. But let's just say it's more than one and less than 500. That'll leave you guessing. When people tell me that they want to start the revolution, okay, what are you going to do? You going to get in your car and go drive down I-25 and start shooting people? Seriously? And I think what bugs me is when I ask that question, because I've been asked that question even by friends. And I say, okay, all right, Gary, who do you want to shoot? Well, blah, blah, blah. No. You're not going to get by with it. If you think the country is so divided, and I think, now Michael did have one good answer. He wasn't going to shoot anybody. He was going to defend his property first. Revolution. I don't know. I suppose if you can figure out who the Archduke Ferdinand is of this era, that you can go shoot and that's going to start World War III or it's going to start the next Civil War, then you know what? I'm all ears. I'm taking names. Let me know who it is that you want to shoot. Because when you get down to it, it is not time for a revolution of that kind. It is not. Everybody's frustrated. I'm frustrated. You're frustrated. The country is divided. But holy crap, I don't get why people don't. A damn history lesson. Every republic goes through this arc of history. And we may or may not be, if the arc of history is a bell curve, if the life of a republic is a bell curve, I don't know whether we're at the top of the bell curve or we've slid off onto the other side and we're sliding down the other side. I don't know. But I do know this. The country's divided, and yes, we're upset about stuff, but you know what I say to people that are pissed off about things? You got recall elections reaping right now. Oh, God, I got to take a deep breath. What we are reaping right now are decades of public education indoctrinating students to the point that they don't teach the basics. I would challenge any of you, honest to God. I do this probably at least once a week, but I would challenge you. I don't care if your kids are 25 or 35. I don't care if your kids are 55 years old. Sit down and ask them to explain to you the origins of this country. Ask them to explain to you, in fact, just ask them, how many, there were 10 original amendments to the Bill of Rights. How many of you 55-year-old children can name any of those? And then if they can name any of them, ask them what they mean. Because it's pretty easy to say, freedom of speech, freedom of religion. Okay, what does that mean? Are there any limits to that? Ask them. Ask them if you think that you can yell fire in a crowded theater, for example. Ask them if they understand what it means, what the Second Amendment means. Is it about hunting? What's this doing in your own sphere of influence? I don't know who Michael is. But Michael has, like everybody else, has a sphere of influence. And I don't mean friends on Facebook. My God, friends on Facebook and YouTube, what meaningless drivel. I would challenge many of you on Facebook or YouTube to go through, or on Facebook, to go through and actually, I've actually thought about doing this myself, of going through and deleting every individual that when I look at that name, if I do not actually know that person, delete. Every one of us has a sphere of influence, and what we need to understand is that we have much more power through that circle of friends and influence than we'll ever have picking up a gun. Because once we get to the point where we have to pick up a gun, baby, it's all over. John in the Springs, give me a chance to breathe.
Hi, yeah, I was going to say that the previous guy, he was talking about a revolution. One way to do it is to issue recalls on your elected officials. That's a peaceful way of doing it.
Which we just did, 6 years ago?
Yeah. And I was thinking statewide, not just the state senators, but the actual congressional seats, if they're doing something that they shouldn't be doing it. But I also have a little bit of a distrust of the electoral. I don't know. I feel like there might be some stealing of elections going on. So that's my concern. I feel like at the same time of the recall issue, you got to start doing paper ballots.
So, all right. So help me understand, John. Yeah. You believe that, for example, in this past election cycle, that some congressional seats or some state senator or state representative seats were actually stolen by one party or the other?
Yes. And I don't have any evidence. It's just a belief.
And why do you believe that?
It's just my suspicion of the country rallied behind Trump, just like I did and a lot of other people, and for it to reverse so badly to me, especially when you look at a lot of these.
Are you talking about Colorado, or are you talking about the country in general?
The country in general. I was speaking more for the country, but I think Colorado may have been affected. I don't know. I mean, for instance, the primary, they prevented me from voting for Trump during the primary. It ended up going into a.
Okay. How do you know that? And if that is true, why did you not go to an election official and say, I voted for, you're talking about in 2016?
Yeah, it was the 2016. If you remember the primary, they didn't allow us to vote. It ended up going to a caucus. And
no, it wasn't. No. They didn't. It wasn't. They didn't allow you to vote, but we had a caucus system. So if you wanted to vote, you had to. I mean, if you wanted to influence that election, you had to go through the caucus system. Nobody kept you from doing anything.
I understand. They switched that up.
Well, no, but hang on, John. But again, this is what drives me. Your comment was somebody kept you from voting for Trump. That's not true.
Non-caucus system. Because the previous caucus, they did allow us to vote. If you remember the previous cycle, we did have a caucus, but it was a different kind of caucus. It was not a delegate-type caucus. This was a delegate-only caucus. The previous caucus, 4 years prior, I was allowed to vote in that caucus without having to become a delegate, of course. And I understand. But
okay, all right, okay. I see where you're going. Okay.
And it's just, in general, I think the wave that Trump produced, I don't think that was a fluke or a one-time thing. I think it's still strong. I still feel that it's very strong. Even though the media and everything else is against him all the time, I feel like there's still a potential for that wave to keep keep the momentum.
Oh, I think, look, I think Democrats will certainly overreach. I think they're overreaching already. And I think, look, when you look at the yahoos that have announced so far, including Smoking Joe Biden, I don't think today versus 2 years from now is like, 1,000 years from now. So much can change between now and November of 2020. So, but today, I think Democrats are overreaching, and today, I don't think there's one of them that can beat Donald Trump.
Right. I agree.
Of course, that also depends, and thanks, John. That also depends, too. You have to understand you have to understand the pressure that Donald Trump is under. He can't even govern. And now they're threatening his family. They're threatening his family with prosecution in the Southern District of New York. Who knows what the Mueller report's going to say? Who knows if we're even going to be able to see the Mueller report? I mean, I think most people should understand the Mueller report is a report to the Attorney General of the United States. The Mueller report is not something that's going to get disseminated to CNN and MSNBC and Fox News. The Attorney General is going to have to decide what is releasable and what is not. That in of itself may cause problems. Whew, you're right, Angie. You're listening to Michael Brown on KOA News Radio, 850 AM, 94.1 FM, and always on the Michael Brown Show page at KOANewsRadio.com.
Before your head hits the pillow, hit up your smart speaker.
Alexa, set my alarm to play KOA on iHeartRadio.
I set your alarm.
Wake up with April Zespa and Marty Lenz. Colorado's Morning News. Weekdays at 5 on KOA News Radio.
Right now, save big and transform your home with Champion's Home Makeover Sale. Save 40% on Champion windows. Every Champion custom-made window is backed by their exclusive limited lifetime warranty. If it breaks, they fix it for as long as you own your home. And they're factory direct, so there's no middleman and no markup. Hi, this is Dave Logan, and Champion is the only window company that I personally endorse. And right now, you can save 40% on windows and 35% on sunrooms and siding when you participate in the Champion ES program. Plus, 12 months, no interest, no payments. But hurry, time is running out. Schedule your free in-home estimate today, online at getchampion.com. 40% off new windows, 35% off new siding and new sunrooms. It's the Transform Your Home sale. Book your appointment online at getchampion.com. That's getchampion.com.
The Champion limited lifetime warranty applies to Comfort 365 windows as long as the original purchaser owns the home. Subject to qualifying credit approval, minimum purchase required. All discounts apply to our regular prices. Cannot be combined with other advertisers' offers. See store or website for details. If you're not making $5,000 to $10,000 a month at your current job, then maybe it's time to start flipping properties for some quick cash. If you like the sound of that, you're in luck. Over the last 5 years, the NVREA team has been perfecting the art of flipping properties for cash without the added risk of using your own money or credit. Call now and they'll send you a free copy of their DVD, Hidden Treasures in Wholesale Flipping. On this DVD, you'll see their easy wholesale flipping strategy for locating, evaluating, and flipping a property for profit in your area. Plus, learn how you can access highly discounted properties and the right funding partners for that perfect wholesale flip. Call 1-800-614-2196 now to get your free wholesale flipping DVD. Call 800-614-2196 and they'll also throw in free tickets to an information-packed live flipping training class, which includes a free smartwatch just for attending. Call 800-614-2196. That's 800-614-2196 to get your free flipping DVD now. Brought to you by NVREA. Renters Warehouse has big news. They've acquired one of America's leading online real estate investment marketplaces and are the nation's leading real estate investment services company. This means Renters Warehouse is now your one-stop shop to research, buy, lease, manage, and sell single-family rental properties. Whether you're looking at 20 properties or just one, you can easily do it all from the comfort of your own home. Heck, you can even do it from your phone. And your properties can be anywhere in the country. It all starts by visiting renterswarehouse.com today.
PatriotSoftware.com, accounting and payroll, keep your time and money.
Patriot's cloud-based accounting software is easy for business owners, yet powerful enough for accountants.
PatriotSoftware.com, accounting and payroll, keep your time and money.
Pat Woodard here with Hanson McLean's Scott Hanson. Scott, I've read that couples face 81 different combinations when applying for Social Security. Is that really true?
Well, it is, Pat. I mean, it sounds crazy, right? But when I first started roughly 25 years ago, Social Security was pretty straightforward. But today, there's just so many different options that it's when and how you could apply could be worth tens of thousands of dollars in retirement income.
So I'm guessing your advisors get a lot of questions about Social Security.
Well, it's probably one of the top questions that we get. We've built an entire live workshop series designed to answer the most common questions about Social Security.
And these workshops are coming up soon, right?
Yeah, we have free Social Security workshops the week of March 12th in the Denver Tech Center, Broomfield, Lakewood, and Highlands Ranch. Now, they're highly educational events that teach people who've been saving for retirement things like how to calculate their benefits, blending 401k income, how to maximize spousal benefits, and more.
Where do people sign up?
Well, they can register for free at HansonMcLean.com, but be warned, this workshop topic fills up quickly.
You heard him, Denver. Sign up today at HansonMcLean.com.
KBCO HD3 Boulder. This is an iHeartRadio station.
KOA News Radio, 850 AM and 94.1 FM. The 50,000-watt blowtorch of the Rocky Mountain West.
KOA News Radio time is 8 o'clock. I'm Pat Monticelli. Our top story, the avalanche danger affects Colorado's ski resorts. We'll have that story coming up. First, though, we've got your traffic and weather together. Here's Darren Copeland.
It's a busy evening right now. We're clearing an accident northbound I-25 at 225. Watch for delays back to Orchard. Further along a stall northbound I-25 at 8th Avenue. Looks like it's been taken out of there, but you're starting to see the slowing at about 6th Avenue. Construction eastbound I-70 at Vasquez is taking down a lane of traffic. It's going to be stop and go from Brighton Boulevard, and westbound I-70 is slow from Central Park to Monaco. In the mountains, westbound I-70 has reopened at Copper Mountain, but there's still a passenger traction law in effect for I-70, starting at El Rancho all the way to Vail. Major delays if you're heading up there. In town, 2 accidents at Federal and Evans have tied up traffic, and a rollover accident has just been reported at 44th and Osage. I'm Darren Copeland with KOA News Radio, Colorado's news, traffic, and weather station.
We do have a chance for some rain and some rain-snow mix tonight here in Denver. Don't expect much accumulation. Pretty similar to what happened the other night. Might just be icy out there on Saturday morning. We do have clear skies on Saturday, 46 degrees, mostly sunny. However, it will be very windy outside in many areas. From CBS 4, I'm meteorologist Lauren Whitney on KOA News Radio, 850 AM and 94.1 FM.
Right now in Denver, mostly cloudy and 44 degrees. Avalanches impacting 2 big ski areas today.
Arapahoe Basin wasn't able to open today. They were working on avalanche mitigation and triggered a slide on the Widowmaker Run. It brought down snow and timber onto Highway 6. A Basin and CDOT are clearing the snow and debris from the highway. They say they will be open at A Basin normal hours tomorrow. There was also a minor avalanche today at Breckenridge. It happened on an expert run off the Imperial Express Superchair. The resort says it happened about 12:30 this afternoon. It was quickly cleared. No one was hurt. Kathy Walker, KOA News Radio.
A couple whose truck was buried by an avalanche near Copper Mountain earlier this week says they feel fortunate to have survived. Carla Reyes, her husband and young daughter, were traveling to Denver when they had to stop because of weather conditions, and that's when the avalanche hit their truck, breaking a window.
We turned back, and the whole back seats were full of snow, covered my daughter. We couldn't see her. I was freaking out. I didn't know how to act.
That's Reyes speaking to CBS 4. The couple heard their child, and with the help of another stranded driver, were able to get everyone to safety. Winter storm warnings do remain in effect for the northern mountains through 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. Another 8 to 16 inches of snow possible above 8,000 feet. High wind warnings also for the Front Range foothills starting tonight at midnight. That'll continue through noon tomorrow. Strong winds expected in Estes Park, Nederland, and Idaho Springs, also between Golden and Boulder. President Trump says it's hard to believe just how damaged Lee County, Alabama is following a series of tornadoes. He got an aerial view today from the Marine One helicopter, thanking people and agencies for their response.
They've done an incredible job, and I want to thank FEMA. All of our people from FEMA, they've been very quick acting.
23 people were killed when that series of storms hit on Sunday. In sports, tough news for Colorado Avalanche fans. Captain Gabe Landeskog will miss 4 to 6 weeks with an upper body injury. There are 4 weeks left in the regular season, and the Avs are 4 points out of a playoff spot. Spring baseball continues for the Colorado Rockies tomorrow. We'll have the game between the Rocks and the Indians live right here at 12:55. After that game ends, we'll bring you the CU men's basketball regular season finale as they host USC. Our next next update comes your way at 8:30. I'm Pat Monticelli on KOA News Radio, 850 AM and 94.1 FM.
I've bought more guns at one place than any other place in my life, and that's at Gunsport in Boulder. You'll find Gunsport at 14th and Arapahoe in Boulder. Easy drive. Go up and visit the guys and tell them Michael Brown sent you. Gunsport at 14th and Arapahoe or online, gunsport.us.
Springtime is the time to buy a new Polaris. Right now, the world's best-selling off-road lineup is priced to move. Get more done with a hardworking Ranger. Chase adventure on a legendary Sportsman. Or live wide open in a high-performance RZR. Rebates go as high as $1,500 during the Polaris Spring Sales Event. Offers valid in U.S. through 4/30/19, subject to credit approval. Rebates and financing vary by model and year. See dealer for details. Always wear a helmet, never drink and ride.
Hi, Jack Corgan inviting listeners to join me on an adventure to see Iceland's Northern Lights, December 7th to the 13th. Experience the Blue Lagoon, charming Reykjavik, and remarkable geothermal wonders. Call Holiday Vacations at 1-800-826-2266.
iHeartRadio and the Amazon original series Hannah celebrate International Women's Day. Sheryl Crow.
I'm really hoping that women will step up into that role as being a great, tough singer-songwriter, musician.
Get more at iHeartRadio.com/women.
Tonight, Michael Brown joins me here.
He's the former FEMA director.
Talk show host Michael Brown.
Brownie. Now.
Brownie, you're doing a heck of a job.
It's a heck of a show with Michael Brown.
You're on the radio.
On KOA News Radio.
Okay, so a little history lesson here. About 2,000 years ago, the famous Roman politician Marcus Tullius Cicero once accused his enemy Clodius of incest with his brothers and sisters. Now, can you imagine Donald Trump accusing Hillary Clinton of incest with Chelsea? Oh, but Michael, things are worse today than they've ever been. Can you imagine in the 2020 cycle? Can you imagine Kamala Harris? Oh, let's take the primaries. That'd be even better. Kamala Harris accusing, well, primaries, John Hickenlooper. I just find that funny. Can you imagine Kamala Harris accusing Cory Booker of incest with his children? Well, I take that back. Maybe Cory Booker doesn't have children. Who does? Well, okay, Hickenlooper's got a kid, I think. Does Kirsten Gillibrand? I don't know. But you get the point. So far from being shocking to people living at the time, that type of insult was actually just a part of normal everyday life. It is funny how we tend to think that today the politics, which is, don't get me wrong. In fact, I'm going to talk in just a minute about Hickenlooper and Joe Biden and this whole gaggle of goobers running for president on the Democrat side. Political debates in ancient Rome were, the only way to describe them is they were done with incredible harshness and the most vitriolic, virulent, personal attacks, much worse than what we see today. And the Romans didn't really care. There was the crime of injustice, but there were hardly any charges ever. Slander was extreme in the Roman Empire. Even by modern standards, it was extreme. Going back to Marcus Tullius Cicero, when he defended his supporter, Cestius, he didn't shrink from publicly accusing Clodius of incest, a sexual practice that then, even then, was considered illegal. There were topics like incest, acting like a king, oh, you mean like a tyrant, like a dictator? That's common. There were instances of politicians wildly and quite frankly kind of vividly describing each other's genitals. And that was in Roman times, that was considered to be very, very shameful to do so. Today we wouldn't consider it shameful. We would consider it like really distasteful. Can you imagine thinking back? I mean, I really don't know what some of the others would have done, but can you imagine? So we narrow it down to Ted Cruz, Donald Trump, and Jeb Bush. Oh, John Casey. God, we can't forget John Casey. And can you imagine Donald Trump? No, let's put Marco Rubio. Instead of calling little Marco, how about he referred to little Marco with little Marco's got a little penis? How about that? Can you imagine the shock waves that would go through our society? Or Jeb, what was it? What was his slam against Jeb? That he was, I just blow this stuff off. I just forget all this stuff. They would threaten oral rape of other politicians. They would accuse the men of being passive when it came to sex. Now, talking about Marcus Cicero accusing Clodius of incest. Well, Clodius turned around and accused Cicero of acting like a king when holding the position of a consul. That it was a serious accusation at the time, since royalty in the Roman Republic was frowned upon. Now, I know this differs from today, where intensive thought is given to the limits of what is permitted in debates and the limits of free speech, but I don't think we should. But I think what we should do is we should get over all of our, we're so offended by this, and oh my gosh, this is the worst it's ever been. No, actually, it's not. Harsh words. You go back to Jefferson and Adams, and the names these guys went from being close friends, founding fathers, to vicious enemies, to good friends at death. Now, in the Roman Empire, when you were accused of anything, you stood up and you took revenge. I think what we saw in the 2016 election was mild compared to what we saw in Roman times. Or if we know our American history, which apparently we do not, of any number of election cycles that we've gone through, even in our own lifetimes, let alone in elections before us. Insults are just a part of life. And I would, I'm not going to sit here and go through all the details, but I would encourage you. I would encourage you to study some of the past elections. And really, Andrew Jackson, holy cow, there's another one. Andrew Jackson, Jefferson and Adams, all of these guys just pilloried each other. And now here we are, and, I made a comment. In fact, I should try to find the email. It may not be on this laptop. I made a comment the other night about I sometimes find it awkward because I know that there are several ministers that listen to this program. And one of them emailed me. And I thought his email was, let me see if it's on this laptop. Let's see, David. Hang on, I got to look for it. I got to see if I can find it. I think this would be worth sharing with you because I think it would. Oh, what am I doing here? Ministers make you nervous. Dear Michael, I'm not going to tell you which minister this is. He knows. He's probably listening right now. My Facebook feed kept dropping last night, so I didn't get every word of your opening segment. I was going to email you about the subject of kindness in political cultural discourse. But after hearing the first 10 or so minutes of the podcast from last night, I want to address something else. You said that the knowledge that ministers were listening makes you uncomfortable. So let me begin by saying that I'm sorry that my viewing your program makes you uncomfortable. No, it's not. It's not that your listening makes me uncomfortable. It makes me wonder sometimes if and I think he actually uses the same, yes, crass. He uses the same word that I use. That I can be crass, I can be snarky, I'm a smartass. That's just me. This is what you get when you tune into this program. In fact, I think my program director describes the program as smart, funny, smart-aleck, and sometimes a little crass. So let me begin. Let's see. It's not really a bad thing. Seriously, it just shows that deep down you're a considerate person. Here's the thing. You do tend to be a bit crass, as you say, but, and the but's in all caps, so that's really important. But that's part of the brand you've built. I expect it. Anyone interacting with you on the show should expect it. Your slogan is more irreverent talk radio. You poke fun at people, no problem. There is a difference between irreverent showmanship and true, heartfelt disrespect, and you're far from being disrespectful. I know what I'm getting into when I tune in and interact via Facebook or YouTube. I've said many times that I like your show. I wouldn't say if it wasn't true. Well, I would hope so. You're a minister. Oh, I guess you minister sometimes. You're somebody I can relate to. That's why I follow you on social media. In fact, I follow Angie too, believe it or not. We convey ideas a little differently, but they're the same ideas. Wow. Now, see, that hit me. When a minister says that we convey ideas a little differently, but they're the same ideas, I stood up and took notice. So you are snarky, but so is Limbaugh. But my wife and I love listening to him. Anything more to be said on the subject is better said over a cup of coffee, blah, blah, blah. I originally wanted to write about the topic of courtesy in political discourse, but it would make this email way too long. I'll simply make one point. There is an old saying about the Bible. It may sometimes hurt you with the truth, but it will never comfort you with a lie. I think that's a good thing to remember when discussing politics, too. Some ideas are simply wrong, stupid, or flat out bad, and people need to be told why. In times like that, successful communication rise or falls on delivery. It made me feel comfortable. Made me feel not quite so uncomfortable. But I think he hits upon something that is really true about this program, and particularly those of you who, Angie says, can I tell this, Angie, about you got 2 or 3 other phone calls?
Oh, yeah,
why not? Why not, right?
Why not?
I think it's an integral part of the story. Here's the thing when you call into this program, when I'm done, I hang up. This is not a program. This is a program that has a certain pace to it. Boom, 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 boom. That's my style. I got a lot of stuff to cover, a lot of stuff to talk about, and I don't have time for a bunch of niceties. Michael, how are you tonight? Well, guess what? I'm just fine. And when I'm done, you get the drop button. So in that earlier phone call where I couldn't get an answer, I'm done. I'm over. I think it makes for bad radio to continue and I know I was guilty of this the other night. I beat myself up a lot for it the other night. But I was really trying to understand what someone who I think was lying to me, I was trying to catch him in a lie. And so the lawyer in me kicked in, and I kept the person on way much longer than I should have. So when you call in here, and I'm done, you're going to hear a click. So when I couldn't get an answer about who you're going to shoot first, I was done. Hung up. He called back 3 times. I think Michael hung up on me. All right, no, it was first. It was twice, right? Twice. We got disconnected. And Angie tries to explain, no, you wouldn't answer his question. Bye. We're done. We move on. I know that we talk about serious subjects. We talk about funny subjects. We do a little bit of everything. But at the end of the day, my least favorite phrase, which I hate myself for using, at the end of the evening, the end of the night, I have to produce an entertaining, insightful, listenable program that makes you want to come back the next day. Not even the next day. Makes you want to come back after the break. Stay through the break. So my style is that I'm going to come on this program and just be who I am. I'm not going to be anybody else. And let me tell you something. That's a good lesson for how you should live your life. If you're trying to pretend to be somebody that you're not, let me tell you, life is way too short for that. And I can tell you that because I have been pilloried in the press for things that I never did. I wrote a book about that, as a matter of fact. Deadly Indifference, if you'd like to buy it off Amazon. You know, Angie, we still need to figure out how to give away that book that somebody threw back in the free book pile.
Oh, I completely forgot about
We
that.
still got to figure out a way to do that. I actually autographed a book to somebody here in the building, and they're trying to clean the building out because we're going to do some remodeling. And somebody took their dear so-and-so, wrote a nice little paragraph, and they threw it in the free book pile. Well, bite my ass, bucko. So we're going to figure out a way to give that book away to somebody. Oh, man, oh, man, oh, man. So anyway, enough about that. But back to the point about this minister. There's an old saying about the Bible. It may sometimes hurt you with the truth, but it will never comfort you with a lie. I think that's a good thing to remember when discussing politics, too. And that's exactly what I intend to do. Whether it's politics, our culture, whatever it is in our society that I'm discussing, I'm just going to tell you what I think. I don't even ask that you agree with me. Quite honestly, I actually don't care if you agree with me. We are so sensitive in this country. Oh, do you think what I said offended somebody? You know what? If you say something that offends somebody else, now if you just walk up to somebody and tell them their butt ugly, maybe you should exercise a little more discretion. But if you say something that you honestly believe about something, and it's of substance, and somebody's offended by that, guess who made the decision to be offended? Not you, the person who heard, or the comments that the person that you directed the comments to. That's who chose to be offended. You have no control over that. No control. Every single one of us make choices every single day of our lives. When I come into this studio, I do two things on the way in terms of choice. I first check on Google Maps to see which way I'm coming in, because I have a preferred way and I have a secondary way. I know that my preferred way is I-25. Sometimes I-25 sucks. Sometimes the map's wrong, it's better, it's worse, whatever. But here's the bottom line. I choose how I react to that traffic. The traffic doesn't give a rat's ass what I think about it. I'm just one more car in 1,000 in the highway. Do you think anybody in any other car cares whether I'm frustrated or in a hurry? In fact, I know they don't care if I'm in a hurry because they're all driving in the left lane. I choose how I react to the traffic. You choose how you react to whatever you hear on the news, read on a website, watch on Facebook, or anywhere else. You're making that choice. Not the person who's either talking, writing, delivering the news, whatever it is. They don't know what your reaction's going to be. How could they? Why should they? Every one of us makes the decision how we're going to react to something. So, I guess the bottom line is, if you get offended by what I say, you should keep tuning in, because you just don't know how badly I might offend you. Yeah, you can't go away now. But more to the point about our politics. It is what it is. And do you think that Donald Trump, for example, should have been somebody other than who he is? Because my guess is if Donald Trump had walked down the escalator at Trump Tower or had stood on that stage with all the other goobers that wanted to be president, and he had tried to be something that he wasn't, most of you who were ardent, die-hard Trump supporters would have been repulsed by that. Because you would have instantly known that guy's a fake. And I think the fact that he wasn't a fake, which is what most politicians tend to be, is exactly what attracted you to him. And now when he says stuff and people recoil like, oh, I can't believe you said that. Well, yeah, you should be able to believe he said that because we've been watching him for 3 years now. And New Yorkers have been watching him for a lot longer than that. So don't feed me this stuff about the country is so divided. Yes, the country is divided. Yes, we're fighting for the soul of the country. Do you know that we've been fighting for the soul of this country? Because here's the deal. Under our constitutional system, liberty and freedom, Reagan said it was just only, we were just a generation away. And that's true. We're always just a generation away from losing the country. And that's been true since the founding of the country. So everybody just take a deep breath, fight your battles, understand that the country is divided, but put your guns away. Good grief, just put your guns away. Unless, of course, you need to deliver a taxpayer relief shot because somebody's trying to break into your house or to your place of business. You're listening to Michael Brown on KOA News Radio, 850 AM, 94.1 FM, and always on the Michael Brown Show page at KOANewsRadio.com.
Saturday, March 9th, an important day, certainly to me, and maybe to you as well. Why? Well, it's National Meatball Day, and on KOA Q&A, I'll be talking with a guy who'll tell us all about it with interesting facts on the beloved meatball. Tomorrow morning, right here on KOA. It's KOA Q&A.
With PatriotSoftware.com, accounting and payroll, keep your time and money.
Mike Capel here, serial entrepreneur. Patriot Software provides cloud-based accounting software that is super easy for business owners and powerful enough for accountants. With Patriot's accounting software, business owners can easily invoice customers, receive payments, pay bills, and track the money in and out of their company without needing a college degree in accounting. And with Patriot Software's patent-pending cash-to-accrual toggle switch, the business's accountant can log in, view the books, and make complex entries to ensure the business has accurate financial statements. Easy but powerful. Everybody wins. Go to PatriotSoftware.com, use promo code RADIO, and get 2 months of accounting software free. That's PatriotSoftware.com.
With PatriotSoftware.com, accounting and payroll, keep your time and money.
Windows from Gravina's Windows and Siding at 950 West Evans in Denver. Gravina's is having a pane in the glass sale. Check out our Great Lakes line of windows and receive super high energy efficient triple pane for the price of double pane. You can't beat Gravina's R10 rated glass package with double low E and Krypton gas. Even Superman can't fly through that. Mention Hootie, our wise old owl, and receive an additional 10% discount. You can't afford to pass up this deal. The Great Lakes EcoSmart window is rated one of the most energy-efficient windows according to Energy Star. The frame R value on the EcoSmart is rated R22 and has a composite reinforcement in the frame. This is one killer window. Call 303-GRAVINA for a free in-home estimate. Northern Colorado, call 970-GRAVINA. And don't forget to mention Hootie. Visit our beautiful showroom at 950 West Evans in Denver. And remember, nobody beats Gravina. Nobody.
At Shane Company, we make shopping for an engagement ring stress-free and easy. I'm Rorden Shane, fourth-generation jeweler.
And I'm Tanner.
For years, Tanner's been helping our customers find the perfect engagement ring.
At Shane Company, we do everything we can to make it easy. Whether you have an idea of what she's looking for, or you have no idea, we're here to help. If you know what kind of ring she wants and you come in with some inspiration, like a picture, great. Or if you know the diamond shape she wants, we'll start by looking at stones. With the largest selection of rings, diamonds, rubies, and sapphires, it'll be easy to find a ring she'll love. If you're unsure of what to get, we can chat about her style and personality. What's she like? What's her job? Then we can show you rings that would be perfect for her. When you propose, you can be sure that moment will be everything she's always dreamed of.
Come to Shane Company, Denver's friendliest jeweler. We make finding the perfect engagement ring fun and easy.
Now you have a friend in the diamond business. Shane Company and ShaneCo.com.
Guys, are you not performing the way you used to in the bedroom? This can happen at any age. The doctors at Thrive MD in Lone Tree are helping men reach peak sexual performance with the revolutionary Gainswave ED treatment. There are no shots or pills with Gainswave. It's safe acoustic wave therapy that's pain-free. You can be spontaneous with Gainswave. Call Thrive MD for a free consultation, 720-575-7878, or visit GainswaveDenver.com.
How's this for a great deal? You can get your drains cleared for just $93 or it's free. $93 or free. Only from Plumline Services. So if Plumline can't clear your drains for just $93, the call is free. You have nothing to lose. If there is a serious problem, Plumline Services will present you with honest options to fix it. Plumline is one of the few companies with their own drain division. No subcontractors. $93 or free. 303-562-0439. That's 303-562-0439.
KOA News Radio time is 8:30. Another avalanche tonight. The Colorado State Patrol says Highway 24 is closed right now between Minturn and Leadville. According to a tweet from the State Patrol's Eagle office, emergency crews are responding. However, it's not clear at this time whether there is anyone trapped in that slide. No one was caught in an avalanche at the Breckenridge ski area today. That one came down about 12:30 this afternoon near an expert run. Meanwhile, Arapahoe Basin was not able to open today. They were working on avalanche mitigation there and triggered a major slide on the Widowmaker that brought snow and timber down onto Highway 6. A-Basin and CDOT staff have been clearing the snow and debris from the highway today. They will reopen with normal hours tomorrow. SpaceX Crew Dragon capsule making a successful return to Earth this morning following a week-long unmanned trip to the International Space Station.
And here come the mains. A breakthrough in human spaceflight for America starting
4 healthy parachutes deployed
with the successful end of this SpaceX mission, an Atlantic splashdown.
Dragon has returned to planet Earth.
A test to prove that this Dragon capsule, with a mannequin named Ripley filled with sensors, is safe to carry Americans to space from American soil for the first time in 8 years.
That's ABC's David Curley reporting. Our next update comes your way at 9. I'm Pat Monticelli on KOA News Radio, 850 AM and 94.1 FM.
Still a tough drive around the metro area. I-25 is back to posted speed, so that's good news across town. But we have problems on I-70. Westbound I-70 at York, construction is taking down the left lane. It's stop and go from Central Park Boulevard. Now they're in the process of taking down the left lane eastbound I-70 right at York, so it's going to be slow across the elevated portions. And up in the mountains, westbound I-70 has reopened at Copper Mountain, but there's still traction laws in effect for most of I-70. Expect major delays on I-70, and US 6 Loveland Pass is closed. Off freeway, a rollover accident at 44th and Osage, and a new accident at Colorado and MLK. CBS 4 weather. Tonight, chance for rain and snow mix late, low of 28. Tomorrow, Sunday and windy, I should say, high of 46, currently 44 degrees. I'm Darren Copeland with KOA News Radio, Colorado's news, traffic, and weather station.
It's our one and only sale of the year, and it's going on right now. The anniversary sale at Williams Jewelers of Englewood.
We've marked down fine jewelry and timepieces all over the store.
Major markdowns and case after case up to 50% off.
Discounts on designer jewelry, Swiss watches, designer bridal, even diamonds, and our famous estate jewelry.
It's all on sale.
Imagine designer sterling and gold you never see marked down, up to 50% off.
Selected Swiss watches up to 40% off.
And designer bridal, we can't even say on the radio.
It's all on sale at our lowest price of the year.
If you're thinking about getting engaged, guys, have we got a deal for you.
The anniversary sale at Williams Jewelers of Englewood. Our one
and only
sale of the year.
At Williams Jewelers, we can make diamonds a part of your life.
Williams Jewelers in Englewood. From anywhere in Denver, we're in Englewood at Bellevue and Broadway. But hurry, it all ends Saturday, March 30th. Disney on Ice presents Worlds of Enchantment, starring Lightning McQueen from Cars, Buzz Lightyear and the Toy Story Gang, Ariel and her Little Mermaid friends, and the magical journey of Anna, Elsa, and Olaf from Frozen. Playing at Denver Coliseum April 4th through the 7th.
Wrong
Ron Burgundy Podcast.
The Ron Burgundy Podcast. Already one of the most listened to podcasts in the world. There's a new episode available now. Listen or download on the free iHeartRadio app.
You know that one dream where you're on a beach with your wife and she's paragliding with your kindergarten teacher? Woohoo! And your boss is there too, only he's a centaur. And he wants to play some beach volleyball.
Let's do this.
But then you realize you can't dream because you're not sleeping, because you suffer from sleep apnea. The good news is there is hope. Inspire is a sleep apnea solution that doesn't require a mask or a hose. To learn how you can treat sleep apnea without a mask and review important safety information, visit inspiresleep.com.
International Women's Day. iHeartRadio and IBM celebrate International Women's Day. Gwen Stefani.
You can try to push me down, but I'm above that. To be able to express myself through my music is quite magical.
Get more at iHeartRadio.com/women.
It takes all of us to promote an equal opportunity workplace. I'm Michael Todd Cohen, Editor-in-Chief at IBM, and I pledge to be vocal and give everyone an opportunity to speak up. Make your pledge at IBM.com/beequal.
International Women's Day. iHeartRadio and IBM celebrate International Women's Day. Meghan Trainor.
I would like to see more opportunities for women, see more female producers and more female engineers.
Get more at iHeartRadio.com/women.
Can't wait on hold? Text Michael at 56690. Now, back to Michael Brown on KOA News Radio.
When you feel the world around you spinning out of control, you can find someone.
Jacksonville, Florida is our first taxpayer relief shot for this evening. The man shot and killed by a half-dozen popo before dawn Tuesday had been arrested 16 times by 6 different law enforcement agencies and was currently a fugitive on a Leon County warrant charging him with sexual battery. Wow. Arrested 16 times by 6 different law enforcement agencies. I don't know, what's that recidivism rate? Oh, 100%, yeah. Antonio Valentine, 32, was in a pickup truck, backed into some bushes of the parking lot of the Harvey supermarket at 4 a.m. when an officer became suspicious. When he saw the man lying in the back seat jump into the front seat, he called for backup. The PIO says that as the popo approached the man, asked him to get out of the truck, he refused, and then eventually rolled up his windows and locked himself in the vehicle. He said the popo decided to act at that point and broke a window to deploy a stun gun twice, but it had no effect, and the man still refused to get out of the truck. You know, I'm fascinated. Maybe I'm just a wimp. Well, I know I'm a wimp. You hit me with you just threatened me with a stun gun? Okay, what do you want? What do you want? I think Angie carries a stun gun. Yep. That's why I don't get too close to her. They were able to open the rear passenger side door of the truck, which gave the officers a better view of the suspect activities in the back seat. That's when they observed the suspect roll toward them with a gun in his hand. Do you really need to know the end of the story? Let me just go back and read that paragraph to you again. The popo was able to open the rear passenger side door of the truck, which gave the officers a better view of the suspect activities in the back seat. That's when the popo observed the suspect roll toward them with a gun in his hand. I just, I was going to say something about criminals being stupid, but I guess when I tell you that he was arrested 16 times by 6 different law enforcement agencies, he was a fugitive on a sexual battery charge, that's pretty much all you need to know. Right? Good grief. Did they not pick up the trash on Friday nights? Oh, Angie, speaking of trash on Friday nights, have you been, I guess you came in here early to put the camera up, right? Did you look over here?
No.
Remember when you pointed out to me like 3 days ago
It was like yesterday.
Was it yesterday?
No, it was 2 days ago.
2 days ago.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. 3 days ago, 2 days ago. I mean, how long do you leave spilled food on your kitchen cabinet at home? 4 days, right?
At least.
At least 4 days. Tamara leaves it on for like weeks. In fact, I usually have to get a chisel, hammer and yeah, it's awful.
Crusty.
Yeah, it's crusty. It's real crusty. Anyway, when I came back in from handing you that book, I just happened to notice that there's some crusties over here.
It took you how long to notice that?
Well, I don't really look around. I'm focused here. I got things to do.
Oh, it's not in your area.
It's not in my. It's right. It's not in my peripheral vision.
You didn't wipe it off.
No, that's right. It's not in my area to wipe down. If my fingers aren't touching it, I'm not spending my time wiping it down. We should do a pre-show YouTube, Facebook, so people can see what I do before the show starts. Then they know I was nuts.
Oh yeah, and we're like, that guy is just.
That guy's like
crazy.
OCD. That guy's crazy. Our next taxpayer relief shot comes to us from Houston, Texas, Harris County. A man shot Mike Hammond in the arm while he was closing up his Southeast Houston shop one night in 1995. Hamad wasn't going to let it happen again when he came face to face with at least 2 more robbers inside his business. One of the suspects was already inside as he rang up his last customer when another burst into the Southeast Houston business and ordered everybody to get down. So, Hammond, thinking back to when he got robbed back in 1995, reached for his own weapon. According to the Houston Chronicle, I went to get my shotgun. He, the masked man, the Lone Ranger, he killed the Lone Ranger. He, the masked man, jumped behind the counter and started shooting. Several customers were inside the liquor store around 8:30 p.m. when Hammond traded gunfire with, are you ready for this? I mean, this is really sad, too. But you know what? I don't blame this guy at all. Several customers were still inside the liquor store around 8:30 p.m. when Hammond traded gunfire with 17-year-old Akiyvon McMillan. What's wrong with Michael? Or, just Billy Bob. How would you pronounce this, Angie? Akeivyon. Akiyvon?
Yeah, I think that's pretty close.
Okay, whatever. A bullet narrowly missed Hammond's shoulder, he said. One of his shots hit McMillan in the torso, but the teen escaped empty-handed. He was later apprehended in Baytown and charged with aggravated robbery with a deadly weapon. He didn't take money, no liquor, no nothing, but bullets everywhere. Tack, 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 tack. And employees at Hammond's store also opened fire on the suspects. Man, that liquor store is armed to the teeth. Don't be robbing liquor stores, you dumbasses. Stop it. An employee at Hammond's store also opened fire on the suspects and killed one man during his break. The 35-year-old suspect died at the scene. So you got a 17-year-old and a 35-year-old. What's with that? Is this like, well, it couldn't be, well, I suppose it could be. I was going to say it couldn't be like father-son, but I guess it could be, couldn't it? 35 and 17? What?
What was the question?
Oh, Lord. Okay. The 35-year-old died at the scene. There were 2 robbers. One was 35 years old. Now, they haven't identified the dead one, who's 35. The 17-year-old, Akiyvon McMillan. And I started to say a father-son team. And then I thought, for just a brief moment, it couldn't be a father-son team. But then I did the math, and it could be. An 18-year-old could have had a kid who's now 17 years old, and he's 35 years old. So it's a father-son robbery team. The family that robs together stays together. Well, except in this case, they really didn't. Because if it's dad, dad's gone. Dad's gone. Let's see. Hammond immigrated to the United States in 1990 from Iraq, opened his store in the southeastern Houston Strip Mall 3 years later. He lives in Sugar Land. You ever been to Sugar Land, Texas, Angie?
I have not.
Well, don't go. It's, Webster, now I'm going to get calls from people and family that live in Sugar Land that I made fun of. I got too many relatives in Texas. Maybe that's what's wrong with me. too many relatives in Texas. And do you know how potholes are formed?
Let's talk about, let's just say, a reality that's really annoying this time of year, and that is the potholes. And it has to do with the amount of moisture we've seen. We've had copious amounts.
This is the scientific section of the Michael Brown Show. How potholes are formed.
Let's talk about, let's just say, a reality that's really annoying this time of year, and that is the potholes. And it has to do with the amount of moisture we've seen. We've had copious amounts of rain and snow and sleet. And that is a bad recipe for these potholes to breed, so to speak, and also the very varying temperatures we've had. Now, there are cracks in the road from normal wear and tear. Now, once we get that precipitation to come down, and we've had a lot of rain especially, you know that water gets into the cracks, and then when you have these wild swings in temperature above normal, below normal, especially below freezing, when water freezes, like if you put a water bottle into a freezer, you'll notice that it expands, like the cap pops.
Just stick with me. But explaining how potholes are made.
Pops up, the bottom almost kind of bulges out. That's what happens underneath a road. So when it expands, it increases those cracks. And then when you have all the traffic going over those cracks, the weight of the cars break up the pavement, taking chunks out. So that's why the potholes have been so bad with the above normal precipitation and the varying temperatures we had this winter.
There you have it. There it is. I'm sorry. That's one of those things where maybe you had to be there to get the humor of it. But I just find it funny when, now I'm being a total jerk. But don't we all know how potholes are formed? Do we really need a meteorologist to explain to us how a pothole is formed? Maybe we do, and if we do, I sincerely apologize. CNN's legal analyst Jeffrey Toobin made one of the dumber statements of the day.
Can I just say one thing? You know, people in Barack Obama's White House, they didn't have to hire lawyers because there were no scandals in the White House.
Now, I want to go back to that in just a second, but let's just rewind it and think about the absurdity of this.
Can I just say one thing? You know, people in Barack Obama's White House, they didn't have to hire lawyers because there were no scandals in the White House. No, I mean, it's true. And George W. Bush, there were no scandals to speak of in the White House there.
No scandals to speak of, I guess.
So, you know,
That's the idea that... It's the way it is now.
Well, no, I mean, I don't think it's just the Times. I think it's the presidency.
Well, that's what I mean.
It's like not all presidents are the same. I mean, this is a president who is under investigation for good reason.
Well, and anybody going into this White House knows up front you're going to end up having to hire a lawyer. That's
true, yes. We agree on that.
Two things about that short little clip. There were no scandals in the Obama administration. The IRS, Benghazi, Fast and Furious. Those were, to me, like the IRS scandal. Pretty close to an impeachable offense. Benghazi, despicable. Fast and Furious, again, pretty close to a impeachable offense. But hey, nobody ever even said the word impeachment. But later on you hear them point out. So anyway, that was the absurd point. No scandals in the Obama administration. Of course, in CNN's bubble, there is no scandal in the Obama administration. But the latter point, is actually quite true. And I think this is not by accident.
Who is under investigation for good reason.
Well, and anybody going into this White House knows up front you're going to end up having to hire a lawyer.
True. Now, why is that true? Not because they've done anything wrong, but I go back to Paul Manafort. Paul Manafort is a great example of somebody who, put aside for a moment, whether you hate him or love him, or whether you know anything at all about him. I don't know Paul Manafort personally. Now he did commit crimes, and a jury of his peers convicted him of those crimes. Those crimes were financial improprieties, failure to file certain forms with regard to representing foreign agents, and tax evasion. But how did they discover those crimes? Only because Paul Manafort agreed for a very short period of time back during the 2016 Republican National Convention to be Donald Trump's campaign manager. So he got swept up into the Mueller investigation, proving my point that everybody is a criminal, because but for Paul Manafort going to work for Donald Trump, those crimes would have never been prosecuted. Paul Manafort wasn't on anybody's radar screen. Now, that's not trying to justify or trying to excuse his crimes. It's just proving my point that you go to work for this administration, or you find a zealous prosecutor that just has it out for you. Because remember, Mueller was investigating what? Say it. Repeat it. Let me hear it. Yes. Russian collusion, whatever the hell that means. And as Judge Elliott pointed out when he sentenced Manafort yesterday, his sentencing and his crimes had nothing to do with the Mueller investigation. Yet, Mueller is the one that uncovered these crimes and prosecuted them. So, getting into the orbit of Donald Trump is legally dangerous. And if it was legally dangerous over the past 2 years, can you imagine how dangerous it is over the next 2 years? Because you have investigation after investigation after investigation, and the Democrats are going to issue subpoena after subpoena after subpoena, and they're going to dig, and they're going to dig, and they're going to dig, and they're going to go after everybody that has ever even shaken Donald Trump's hand. And if they're just zealous enough, they'll come after those people. I think it's a sorry state of affairs. It is what it is. Can't stop it unless we change something at the ballot box. It's going to go on for the next 2 years. But I don't think that these yahoos on CNN realize how pathetic it is what they just said about everybody
who is under investigation for good reason.
Well, and anybody going into this White House knows up front you're going to end up having to hire a lawyer.
That's what's wrong with us. You cannot get good people to serve at any level if you know that the opposition party, whether it be Republicans or Democrats, are going to be doing nothing but digging and digging and digging and trying to find dirt. They are proving the Huey Long maxim that there is always something. So you might think that you would be the most qualified person in the history of this nation to ever serve as the Secretary of X or the Undersecretary of Y, or to serve in the White House doing whatever job it might be. And my advice to you, sad as this is, would be don't do it. It would literally be do not do it. And it's not because I don't think that all of us have an obligation when we have the opportunity to serve a president, to serve our country, that we shouldn't do it. I think that we should do it. Even after everything I went through, I still believe that we should. But in this case, over the next 2 years, if any of you came to me and said, hey, Michael, I got a phone call, and they want me to be the Undersecretary of X, what should I do? I'd say you should call them back and say you are honored. You are absolutely honored to be asked to be X, but you respectfully decline. Don't do it. It's really shameful that we've reached that point, but do not do it. David Axelrod, Obama's former advisor, asked Elizabeth Warren.
I have to ask you about another family issue that you're probably sick of talking about, but this issue of your lineage and the Native American issue that has dogged you since your first Senate race. There have been all kinds of reports about it, including going through your hirings and asserting that there was no favoritism paid to you. But the question that I've never understood is why? Why did you in 1986 fill out on your, I guess it was your law license or something, an application, American Indian? Why did you check those boxes? Because obviously that's a very small part of your lineage, 1/32nd or something. So why?
Actually, what was it? 1,024th? Why did you check the boxes?
Why did you do it?
What do you think the answer is? I've only got like 30 seconds.
So, like you said, I grew up in Oklahoma. I learned about my family the same way most people learn about their families, from my mom and my dad and my aunts and my uncles. And based on what I learned growing up and the fact that I love my family.
I love my family too. And I absolutely adored my paternal grandfather. My paternal grandfather. And I got to tell you, he was a Cherokee Indian. It never even crossed my mind, as much as I love my family, it never crossed my mind to so-called check the box. No, I would have never checked the box. Angie, I still need to do the 23andMe and just see how much Cherokee's left in me. I might be part Indian. Then what are you going to do? You're going to have to show me some respect.
Yeah.
I know. Well, I can dream. A guy can dream. You're listening to Michael Brown on KOA News Radio, 850 AM, 94.1 FM, and you can always find me on the Michael Brown Show page at KOANewsRadio.com.
Imagine, if you can, a woman with no arms, flying an airplane by herself.